Okay, just a little bit of a something to say here is I have TV out in my garage and stuff, and I like the Rifleman. So part of that video there, I forgot to mute the TV, so you might hear a little bit of the Rifleman series. Uh, but I just finished wiping these out, and I think we're done. I'm going to go ahead and flip it back upside down, pull the tape off from where I painted it, and we'll start taking a look at the cam and the cam bearings I wanted to show you. It's a new style the machine shop put in there. They're grooved on the outside, but we'll take a look at that when I flip it over here. So hope you're enjoying it so far, and we'll pick it up here in a minute. Okay, so here we're looking at the crankshaft journal and the cam bearing. You'll notice here that the hole for the crankshaft bearing is on top, and normally you would line the camshaft hole with the crankshaft hole, and that allows the oil to oil up everything that needs to be oiled up. Now, when I first got the block back from the machinist, I was a little disappointed that the only one that was lined up correctly was the number one bearing there. However, so I called them, and what this is a new cam bearing. It's got a groove where that slot's at there. The groove goes all the way around the bearing in here, and it goes all the way around. So what they're telling me is under load, if you have the crankshaft and the cam bearing holes aligned, it puts a lot of stress on that hole. This is more of a Chevy trick here. Now the block's upside down, but if the block was right side up, this hole would be at 4 o'clock. And that's the typical way of installing this sort of a bearing. I was still a little skeptical. What I did was I took my little oil bottle and I put oil down in here and squeezed my bottle, of course, to give it a little bit of pressure. And the oil does come out through this hole. So that's telling me that it will lubricate the cam as it's supposed to. And I also got a warranty from the machinist that this won't burn out my cam. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be a little misfortune if it does blow the cam, then I got to take it all back apart again. So I'm hoping that that won't be the case. We're going to go ahead and get the cam installed today. I'm going to wipe out some of the oil from where I was doing the honing before I do that, and I'll bring you back in once I go to do that. Thank you. Okay, so here's the cam I went with for this 390. It is a Comp Cams. It does require new valve springs, different strength on there. It does come with all the parts to install those with new valve seats and stuff like that, the guides, seal and stuff like that. It's got the lifters, timing chain, and gears, along with new push rods and the cam itself. So that's the kit we'll be working with today. And I'm going to go ahead and get the cam out of there and start at that. We're going to get it lubed up. We are using a product that I got from O'Reilly's. I was a AutoZone shopper for a while, but they kind of ticked me off. They don't really service me as like I used to get service there. So I kind of started going to O'Reilly's. A couple guys seem to know what's going on, especially with Ford motors. So we'll be assembling that here real soon. Okay, after reading the manual that they sent with the cam there, comp cams send their own lubricant. It does say in the instructions that if you don't use this lubricant, they won't warranty the cam. So we're going to go ahead and use this instead of the stuff we bought at O'Reilly's. The kit we got was a pretty good kit, actually. So I'm just going to, I washed my hands already. You definitely don't want any residue of old dirt or anything like that on your hands. And I'm just going to put that on there. I'm going to start with this one here, because it's going to be our second one. We want to get at least 2 in there before we let go of it. And I'm going to rub some down in the bearing itself. And you can't ever have too much of this stuff. So just use up what you can. We got the other lubricant oil to do the other parts. So just get this on there. And what this does is it gives it a chance to, on your first start up there, to lubricate everything. You know, you got some kind of sticky lubricant there that so you don't burn your stuff up when you first start the motor. So you definitely want to use something. If the cam you buy comes with the lubricant, I would suggest using that. I mean, they built the stuff. So I'm just going to get some in the front one here, and then we'll put it in there. And this one here, I'm going to get it dripping all over. You'll notice that there's a gear on the other end. And since the distributor's in the front of a Ford, we know the gear has to go to the front. So, in case you're wondering there. Okay, and of course it's a mess. So let me grab a towel here. Okay. Alright. And you just want to make sure you get it in there straight. And usually when you get it through there, it's going to want to drop down. So you want to hold on to it. Okay, so now we got that going. I'm going to go ahead and lubricate some of these other ones here. I do notice that this cam has grooves on the bearing, or it's actually not a bearing, it's the shaft here. They have grooves in it, so that's going to help with that lubrication deal what we got with our new bearings. So we should be okay. They're saying that 4 o'clock orientation on that bearing, it gives you a little bit better, a more accurate reading on your oil pressure. So we'll see. I usually just give it a little twist here to get them started back there. Like I say, you don't want to be bouncing these around, chipping the okay. Alright, so now we got the last one. And of course I'm going to get all full of oils here. It also came with the new pin, a drive pin for the timing gear, which I thought that was pretty cool. It looks like a fairly decent kit. It came with everything you needed except for the valves, but it did come with all the replacement parts for the valves, valve train. So I'm pretty happy with that. It was run around $400. I got it from Summit. Okay, so we're in. Okay, so that's cam install there. Now we do have to do some things so it doesn't pop out of there, and that I'll take care of here in a minute. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure everything's all lined up here. And it's looking good. I got some stuff down in my cylinder here. It's not going to hurt it. but it is kind of sticky. So this card I got here pulled out of there, it says if you don't use comp cam break-in oil, part number 1590 voids all warranty on this cam. So it looks like we'll be using that for break-in oil. We don't want to take any chances there. So all right, let me get a couple of more things ready, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, this is called a thrust plate. It holds that cam from coming out there. One of the things I noticed on this that I don't know, it was kind of a iffy deal for me, was they're actually Phillips heads, and it's a number 4 or number 5, and of course nobody sells them. You know, lumber yards don't sell them. They only go up to a number 3. So that'll keep the cam from coming out anyway, so when we're flipping it back and forth, if we're doing that, then we won't have to worry about it. But you can see there's a little bit of play in here until we get the gear on there. So our next step is we're going to wipe out the